Um,
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, my wow, that's very close. My Instagram was not updated because I refused to update it because it took away some of the features that it used to have.
I
So
know, I know. The interface is so aggravating, but I'm so glad to have you here now.
yeah.
I was just telling everyone we're welcoming you to talk all things season 3, which dropped on Netflix this morning, and I'm sure some of the people tuning in have somehow already binged all 10 episodes.
I mean, you would have had to have started it when it like came on at like 12 in the morning, right? Or
Yeah, stayed up all night. Well, I'm going to start by asking, for season 3, you guys ended up having to make this during the pandemic. Did that
yes.
change a lot for you in terms of the storytelling? Were there things coming in that you were expecting to be able to do that then had to be altered because of the pandemic?
Well, yeah, for me, I wanted to limit exposure to too many people outside of the cast, like too many guest stars, just because it's really, everyone was being tested and we were taking very serious protocols to make sure that everybody was safe. But, as things come out, that you can test negative one day and then be positive the next day. So I really wanted to keep it kind of tight knit. So we didn't do as many, guest stars in the medical side of the show, which is unfortunate because I think that that's a really fun aspect of the show, and it keeps it very colorful, between the town and the romance, and then there's like the medical side of the drama. So that was disappointing that we weren't able to do that. But yeah, and being on set with masks is not awesome.
Yeah, fair.
Because you're talking and you're seeing this much of you. I mean, there were new people, there were new crew members, all over that I had met, and I didn't know how their face looked.
That's so wild.
It was really bizarre. I mean, there's one guy on the show where I only saw this much of his face. And we have PPE breaks throughout the day. Like you get, people can go and you separate yourself, very social distance, and you can take your mask off so you can breathe. And he took his mask off and he had full facial hair, just a full, like a big mustache. And I was like, what?
Amazing. Well, I know that I was relieved, and I'm sure viewers are too, that we established very early on that Jack is fine, or as fine as he can be after being shot. And at the start of the season, he and Mel really finally just get the chance to enjoy each other's company. Was that a breath of fresh air for you?
Yeah, and I think it will be for the fans also. I think that's part of the show, that it's just very sweet. These two people fell in love accidentally. Neither of them were looking for love, and which kind of mirrors life. I think a lot of times, if you're not looking for it, it just kind of falls in your lap. But yeah, so I think that's going to be a really nice aspect. But there's always going to be some choppy water.
Of course.
Coming.
Well, hanging out and being lovey-dovey with Martin Henderson seems like a really, really difficult job.
I know, it's really hard.
How much fun is that? Or is it something that really requires so much intimate precision? So it's maybe more focused than people might think, watching you two have so much fun together on screen.
I mean, I think we just have fun together naturally. So it's pretty easy to just tumble that into the characters, which is why I think Mel and Jack, that chemistry works so well, because we just get on so well.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to ruin exactly what it was for people who haven't seen it yet, but Jack does a romantic gesture this season that looks like something out of a Disney movie. Please tell me it looked as beautiful in real life as it does on TV.
It did. And honestly, I mean, we were filming it and we were just cracking up because of how I was like, who does this? I said, and everybody was making, they're like making comments. They're like, Martin, you're going to have a lot to live up to now, like in your personal life.
It's true.
And I was like, yes, my husband ever sees this, he's gonna just be like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
well, I
but it
feel
was
like,
beautiful. I mean, it was candles everywhere and
yeah,
mhm.
I feel like that would take him truly to all of 2 days to actually set up by himself.
I mean, and also there's movie magic because she didn't walk into her house and not notice the candles or the
True,
dinner table.
true, true,
And
true.
how long of a bath did she take?
A very, very long one. A 3-day bath. Um, there's also an episode this season that centers around Virgin River's annual lumberjack games, and Mel and Jack compete in some of the stuff. Did you have to learn to do a lot of those things? I mean, what was your lumberjack prep like?
We did. So we went to the so it's a zip lining course. And ropes course, I guess, because there's, obstacle courses that you go along on the zip line. And I had a lot of fun with it. I did gymnastics when I was a kid, so I'm not too shy with stuff like that. And I'm very comfortable in my body. Um, but I don't like heights at all.
Yeah.
But luckily, we're strapped in, so it was okay. And it was a lot of fun. But the way that we went up there and we did like sort of training up there so we could get used to everything. And it was a really nice, beautiful day. And then when we went back up to shoot a few weeks later, it was freezing cold. And it
Oh
was so
no.
cold that they actually had to stop, like production couldn't continue because they have this huge gondola that goes up the side of the mountain. And you have to stop the gondola if there's severe winds. So there was a couple days where I sat down in the trailer for a good like 2-3 hours because we couldn't get up to
Yeah.
film.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But my favorite part was the sawing because we had to saw through this thing and talk over the sawing and have this whole conversation over the sawing. I was like, this is so silly.
I imagine that's even harder than it looks, is it?
It's pretty hard. It'll take your breath away. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I was
Good.
sore.
Maybe good practice for a Virgin River musical episode, dancing and singing at the same
Gosh,
time.
yeah.
Someday.
I don't know if we'll ever do
Season
that. Yeah.
6.
Season 6.
Well, something else I really love about this season is that Mel finally gets to have a female friend her own age when Jack's sister Bree comes into town. For you, what was it like getting to develop that new relationship?
I have been waiting for that. The second season, we did have a new character in there. We thought we were going to develop more, but I think the puzzle pieces, it just wasn't really making sense storyline wise. So, but I love Zibby Allen, who plays Bree. She's so much fun to work with, and luckily we get along really well. Kind of like me and Martin, we just met and we, just got along. So, it's been. Sorry, my automatic cat feeder just went off.
That's okay.
I think it's done. And yeah. So it's been fun. It's nice to see Mel in a different dynamic other than with Jack or with Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even her sister. I mean, they're so close, but it's
different. You always have that sister dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably funny for her to have the shoe on the other foot where it's Jack's sister and she is not having that sibling relationship, but maybe seeing how he might view her sister now.
Yes. I'm interested to see if we get picked up again. I'd love to see more scenes between the three of them to kind of navigate that dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you have no shortage of things to do on this show. I mean, Mel has to face off against Doc and hold her ground against him being a curmudgeon some of the times. You have all the medical stuff, and then you have the romantic stuff, and then you have very dramatic soul-searching moments. Of all of it, is there something, a certain type of scene that's your favorite to do?
I love the scenes between Mel and Doc. I like how their relationship is evolving, and Doc becomes such a softie in season 3. And it's been really fun to watch Tim's navigate that that arc and that character, and yeah, and I'm excited for that dynamic going forward, because as much as I do like the combative relationship of them in the beginning, because that was also really fun for us to play together. I like this sort of like father-daughter relationship that they've developed. I think it's really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved this season how when he kind of retreats to his season 1 ways, Mel's immediately like, okay, something's wrong. Like
Yeah.
we've moved past this.
Yeah, I thought we dealt with that. No? Okay. No.
Well, without giving too much away, what was your favorite scene to shoot in season 3?
I've been asked that before, and it's hard because I get like they all end up melding together in ways. Oh, it's hard to, because then I give things away if I answer that. Because what ended up becoming a scene that I kind of dreaded, we ended up working it differently in a way that I liked. And so it's a scene with Martin, but I don't,
okay.
if I tell you, then it's like a huge moment in the show. And
okay.
Just give too many things away if you haven't watched it. Somebody's saying the boat scene. The boat scene was pretty funny, actually. We had to dock the boat so that we could get the coverage, because you can't put cameras on the boat. So all of the stuff of, just us was like off of the dock. They just rigged it to the dock.
I love it.
And originally that scene had fireworks at the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of glad they took it out.
Yeah.
I think it was overkill. Even when I read it in the script, I was like, really, guys? With the fireworks? Like, I get, like, it's an extravaganza, but
that's like save it for the wedding, Jack.
Yeah.
Or maybe one day.
I know. I was like, is he going to propose? What is this scene? When I started reading it initially, I was like,
what was the most challenging to shoot this season?
The last scene.
The
cliffhanger scene.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Has anybody seen it yet? That's tuning in? Haven't even watched season 3 yet.
Yeah, somebody just said 4. I spent the whole night watching the whole season.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, people are going to be surprised, I think, when they get to the end.
Yeah, I think so. The last scene, I'm not okay. See? Yep, exactly. Not okay. That's how I think a lot of people are going to feel.
Yeah. If you guys do get a season 4, has Sue teased anything for you? Like, can you tease for us what might be ahead?
We always kind of do this thing where we talk about where, if we get picked up, like where we would like to see the characters go, and things, and then they'll kind of like pitch what they've already prepped, to pitch to Netflix and whatnot. And so I know some stuff.
Okay.
But
it would give away too much.
I can't tell you.
I am going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Who is your favorite couple besides Mel and Jack?
Oh, somebody asked me this earlier, and it was I was like stumbling for an answer, and it depends, I guess, if between TV or movies. Movies is very hard, but one of my all-time favorite movies is When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, mine too.
So yeah, and then TV. Is Carrie and Big a good?
Yeah, that's fine. But I
They
actually
have
meant
a very
within.
complicated relationship.
I meant within Virgin River specifically.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Though I'm
Well,
always here to talk about When Harry Met Sally because it's the best.
it's the best. Um, Doc and Hope.
Yeah,
Say that, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Virgin River was a real place, what would be the number one thing you wish was real about it?
Uh, oh my gosh, I don't know. Jack's Bar.
Yeah, definitely.
It's on
um,
a river.
I think we know Mel's complicated feelings, but I want to know if you, Alex, are sympathetic to Charmaine.
Oh, of course. Of course. And Mel is sympathetic to Charmaine also, but she's overextended herself several times, and Charmaine just keeps being, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, of course, she's pregnant with twins to a man who she loved that doesn't love her. Because how tragic.
yeah.
Horrible.
It is sad, very
I
sad.
feel
It's
bad for
just,
her. For
it's just
Charmaine.
hard to empathize sometimes when she's mean to you.
I know. Well, you know, she's a words I'm not going to say.
Well, you already said you wish Jack's Bar was real. So if you could go there right now, what would you order?
I think I would just get like probably a vodka soda with lime because they don't have a lot of fancy things there.
Yes.
Basic.
And maybe some Preacher's cooking because that sounds delicious.
Oh, yes. 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 Oh, yeah. I thought you meant alcohol.
No, alcohol is always good. I would definitely order a drink if I were there. So
I don't actually know like what's on the menu there. I don't know food wise what's on the menu. I know he has a good kale salad, and then there's like a lentil thing that I ate in the first episode. That was pretty good.
He's always changing
I
things
just
up.
dive right in with vodka soda.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, after people finish season 3, I think they may also need a vodka soda. So it's a fair answer.
I think so. Yes.
I always like to bring in some questions from the fans. And somebody asked, how much do you relate with Mel in real life? How close to you are, how much like her are you as a person?
I always bring a lot of myself to the characters that I play. And Mel, unfortunately, I've had very similar tragedies in my life. So playing her, they weren't the same, but they were similar. And so playing her was very like close to when that first season was very, very real for me. I didn't have to do a lot of digging, digging around. But you know, I think of myself as a strong, intelligent person who's a fighter, and I think that Mel is the same way.
Yeah.
And so I love playing that side of her, although she's extremely vulnerable, like we all are. And yeah, so I think pretty similar, not completely. I'm a little more edgy than Mel.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm a little edgier than Mel, but you know.
Somebody wants to know if Annette, who plays Hope, is as funny in real life as she is on screen.
I think that's always this funny thing about people that are funny on screen. Sometimes, you know, well, you're putting it on, right? I mean, she's funny. She's obviously a funny, fun person. She's very smart, but I mean, she's playing a character. Like Hope is definitely a character. She doesn't act like that in real life. No, she's much more I don't know, Annette. I don't know. I don't know. But she's lovely. I love working with her, and I love talking to her. And she's a very like grounded, real human.
Yeah. This
Mm-hmm.
next one's kind of provocative. Do
Oh.
you think Mel might be a little bit too good for Jack?
Yes, totally. Yeah, totally.
I love it.
Totally.
Where's your favorite place to film in Virgin River? Whether that's a set or an outdoor location.
Um, Gosh, there's so many beautiful places that we've filmed. We film a lot in this area called Squamish,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of close to Whistler. So it's not quite Whistler. Um, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, in the second season where we're fishing was beautiful as well.
I love Mel's jokes about fishing. Are you more pro fishing than Mel or less?
Wouldn't call myself pro fishing. I don't fish. I know how to fly fish. I've actually fly fished quite a bit when I was younger. And I would probably do it again. I do catch and release. I don't, keep the fish. But yeah, I mean, I had to pretend that I didn't know what I was doing. Like that was, I was like, and I was kind of annoyed with it, to be honest with you, because I was like, why are we doing this cliche where a woman doesn't know how to fish? Like, I'm like, why don't we just make her a boss and be like, yeah, I know how to fish. What? Watch me. I was like, eh. But I played along with it because it's cute and stuff.
Somebody asked, and I actually have to answer this question. They asked if Annette Hope was meant to be off screen this whole season or if that was a pandemic thing. We actually have a whole article about that on EW.com that went up this morning where Sue Tenney explains exactly what happened with that. So y'all should go over there and check it out. But the short answer is, yes, she was supposed to be more present, and the pandemic did cause a change in terms of that storyline.
Yes. Big change. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, well, I think we are just about out of time, and I know that much of the audience wants to get back to watching the rest of season 3.
Yeah, go finish the show.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Alex. It was great chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys, everybody who's been watching, and really appreciate everybody's love for the show. Really, 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 truly. Like, we could not continue to do this without you. So thank you so much.
Bye, Alex. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Thanks. You too.